see the way they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us names. I can feel the sunlight shining.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's Monday, January 20th, 2025, and welcome to episode 822 of the Lots Project Morning Show, where the coffee's strong, the opinions are stronger, and everything is always filter-free. I'm Brian, your host, and today I'm enjoying a medium light Costa Rican from foodforestfarms.com, where you can get 10% off with discount code LOTS10, and the shipping is always free. While you're there, check out C4 Club. It's a fantastic opportunity to join a great community of coffee lovers and get some fantastic product every month shipped straight to your door, and you can't beat the price. So check that out while you're at foodforestfarms.com. Pick up a pound or two today or jump on that C4 Club. Today, I'm talking about a huge cold snap we got going on here, dead battery problems, some shady wood, and so much more. But first, let's grab that cup of coffee, jump into the live chat, see who's hanging out, and we'll go from there. Good morning. Good morning. It's Monday again. I hope everybody's doing well this Monday morning. Starting to get used to the once a week show and being prepared when I fired it up instead of day after day after day. You get in that routine and everything is it's smoother, but the once a week is coming around. I hope it's working for you guys. I'm definitely getting a lot done and have a lot of things in the works for all the time that I'm saving just doing the one show. And content ideas are a lot easier to come up with when it's a fifth of the time. So good morning, Digger in early. Good morning. Thanks for stopping in. John Palmer, good morning. Good day. Good week to you, sir. Rewilder Life says good morning, and it's a long underwear and Carhartt bib kind of day. For you and me both. For you and me both, except I don't have mine anymore. Actually, I think I might have them. They might be packed away somewhere deep in a tote that I would never expect to ever get out again. But I do feel the Carhartt bibs would be an appropriate attire today. Corey, I'm sure, had them on when she did morning dog let out time. So says row. I didn't ever hope to be any place where I needed Carhartt bibs again, but it was like 10 or 15 or less. It's supposed to get to 10 overnight for the low this last couple days, or yesterday into today. And 10 degrees is definitely chilly enough for a Carhartt bib. Even if you just go with the hoodie underneath, that was my go-to in Minnesota when it would get cold, would be the Carhartts and the Carhartts with just a hoodie underneath. Rewilder Life sitting at -7. Yeah, no. We watched the temperature, and I think on Tuesday, I might as well bring it up on my phone since I'll be talking about the cold snap here right off the top. We were looking at some single digits. We were looking at some single digits overnights. Yeah, so Tuesday night still we're looking at mid single digits. We're looking at 6 degrees. Last night it was supposed to get to 10 and we're sitting at 12 right now. So it's it's chilly. It's chilly. Not bad, not horrible in the camper. I shouldn't say not bad as Corey is stoking the fire right now. It's I don't know. What do you got on the wall there? Like 55 or something? 48. 48. Yeah, 48. I don't know if how accurate our thermometer is on the wall. We have a digital one that we don't have out right now, but the one on the wall has seen its better days. It's definitely fallen off the wall several times. It's the old dial. Big one that you would you put in like your sunroom or something like that. We just bought it at Dollar General when we were leaving the dogs sometimes and we wanted to know what the temperature was in here. So we have our cameras that we can set up for remote monitoring. Excuse me. And have cameras set up for remote monitoring, and we wanted to be able to put one on a thermometer that we could read. And to buy a digital one that was big enough that we could read with the camera was too expensive. So we just bought the big white round ones that you see on people's patios. I think it was like $12. So the accuracy is to be determined. We've had it for a long time, but we know relative to how we're feeling and if we're comfortable where it sits on the scale. So it works for us. It works. But yeah, she said it says 48 right now. It says 48. So meh. John Palmer says it's getting cold enough alone the Gulf Coast, and Baton Rouge is supposed to get 8 or 9 inches of snow. Yeah, I saw there was some talk of snow following this cold snap. Some little blurbs of that last week, I think, and it must have gone south. It must have gone south of us because I don't see any snow in our forecast the end of the week. They were wondering what direction it was going to go. So are we actually supposed to get snow south of us and us not get any? Because our cold is only supposed to last. The overnight is what we really worry about. I guess getting above freezing during the day. So we're locked down under freezing until Wednesday during the day. And then it gets back up to 40s during the day, 20s overnight, which is fine. And then into the weekend, we're all the way up into the 50s and into the mid to high 30s overnight. So there is that. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I hope it stays south. I don't need any more snow. The snow that we got was fine. It was here and then it wasn't. It like I mentioned on last week's show, it hey, good morning, Jim, over on Noster. Appreciate the zap. Thank you very much, as always. Thanks for stopping in over there, and the zaps are always appreciated. Like I mentioned on last week's show, the John Palmer's over on Telegram typing in random numbers. Like I talked on last week's show. Oh yeah, he just posted up the picture of the forecast. That's gross. They can keep it down there. Wow, that is pretty gross. The snow. He's putting if you want to join the Telegram group at t.me/LotsChat, t.me/LotsChat. You'll be able to scroll up if you join today, tomorrow, or the next day and see John's weather forecast, weather map he posted in there, or all the other fun stuff we post in the group. But I talked last week's show about last year's snowstorm was so bad was because we got the snow and then the temperature dropped off as we were getting the snow. And then it didn't come above freezing, and they don't have much equipment. I shouldn't say any. They have very little equipment to clear the roads, treat the roads, things like that around here. So once it was on the ground and the temperature was too low, it just never went away. And with all the hills in this area, getting around was near impossible. So the snow this time came, and the weather cooperated. The temperature went up, and it melted off. Some of it's still sticking around in like the shady spots, south-facing slopes, and in the shade of the trees. But I mean, any significant snow is gone. It's just like piled up here and there in the spots. So just because it stayed cold, not any snow with this snap. So that's good. Cormac, good morning. Thanks for stopping in from across the pond. Appreciate that as always. And Hunter, good morning over on Twitch. Good morning over on Twitch. So the cold. The cold. I hope it's the last one for this winter. And by being the last one for this winter, I'm hoping it's the last one we spend in this RV. it is what it is. We get by. Like I said, I think she said it's 48 degrees out there. I'm sitting here in a hoodie and hoodie and sweats and some blankets, which isn't not some blankets. I got one blanket on my lap, so it's not horrible. We can deal with it, but I'm definitely going to be happy come Wednesday when it starts to creep back up, when the sun starts hitting the camper and it starts warming up above freezing. And we move into that late winter, early spring weather where we can get back to sleeping all night is one thing. We've come to the conclusion we have to stay up for maintaining the stove. When we hit, that high 20s to mid 20s and overnight, we like to keep that stoves going overnight, just so it doesn't cool off. Just so it doesn't take so long to warm back up. And if we can keep it going and rotate getting up and keeping it warm, it's not bad. So I'll be excited to get past that, get back into those 30s overnight, even high 20s. We can get away with it depending on what the temperature is the day before and what it's going to be the following day. If it's supposed to be sunny and in the 50s and it's getting down to high 20s, we'll roll the dice and go without. We'll just stoke it up before we go to bed and fire it up early in the morning if one of us happens to get up overnight. But man, with Sunday, the cold snap this time, the Sunday, Saturday afternoon, it peaked and the temperatures just kept going down. It got up to 51, I think, on Saturday, and the temperature just started to drop. It dropped overnight. It dropped. It held steady quite a bit yesterday, but then just kept falling. And like I said, it's supposed to get down to 10, currently 12. So close enough. Then we're supposed to not come back up above freezing. It was in one of the local groups here. Somebody said figured it out. It was at 84 hours will be below freezing, which will probably cause some significant problems here. Maybe not. I'm hoping not, but after being here last winter, I think we might have some issues. We the water lines in this area aren't buried very deep. The water lines underneath houses and trailers are not insulated. When it gets cold like this, for an extended period of time, meaning it doesn't come above freezing during the day, we get a lot of frozen pipes. We got a lot of broken pipes. One thing about not having codes in the area, lots of improper plumbing. I've helped my friends dig up their feed line to their house and a couple other lines at their house kind of close to here. And they have all sorts of DIY plumbing. Let's say that it isn't quite right. Wrong types of pipe, no couplings, just kind of like melting pipe and shoving them together and things like that. So that stuff doesn't really hold up to the stress of freezing, breaking. Lots of brittle pipe, so it doesn't take a whole lot for a couple of lines to break. And then the bigger problem there is it's not just their problem. It's just not the problem of the person that's there. The towns here are mainly on wells and have water towers. So when you get a significant amount of people that are either dripping their faucets, because that is the go-to in this area, is the go-to is to drip your faucet to hopefully not let your shit freeze. So with all the people that start dripping their faucets and then frozen pipes, and when they thaw, the constant of the running of the water into the yards and stuff, because people won't find it right away, it depletes the water supplies for the towns. Last year, our town was actually the only one that's kind of close here that didn't lose water for at least a couple days from that. The water towers being depleted, the low water level, they have to shut the water down because if they lose pressure, then it back flushes and it's just a nasty mess. So fingers crossed that that doesn't happen this time, or if it does, at least we stay on the good water with our town. Our town that we're staying in has, that we use as our municipal water. They have 2 water towers. They have a main one and then a backup one. So I think that might have been why we were spared the no water. In prep for that, Corey and I filled our main water tank. We filled our jerry cans. We have all our backup water jugs, our backup drinking water jugs, and every water jug we had in the campers full. And we also have our big cooler full of water, which will probably freeze outside, but if needed, we can pick that up, bring that in, and it'll thaw inside. So we have a decent amount. We should be all right. Depending. Watching how the water gets restored to service here. It's a roll of the dice. It could be a couple days. It could be a week. So who knows? And if we got to go venture out to find water, we can. But we'll do what we can. Good morning, Canadian Farmstead. Thanks for stopping in. Hunter says PEX to copper to PVC 80 to garden hose. Yeah, and you forgot the Schedule 80 iron pipe. maybe some straws, or a funnel duct taped in there somewhere for a drain. Who knows? Yeah, I would not be surprised anything I ever dug up out of any yard around this place. So there is that. So one day, I guess, into the cold snap is things are going well. We preventatively lubed up our door latches. We learned from the last big cold snap last year, and then a little bit already this year. As it gets cold overnight, the condensation in the door latches, because the metal outside is cold and the warm inside, it gets condensation in the door latches. Then the door latches freeze. So you can pull the handle and the latch doesn't move. The deadbolt will freeze up. So this year I used some dry silicone spray. I think that's what it was. It was the same thing we used for lubricating the knitting machine we have. So I had that. It's like a WD-40 special silicone spray. Sprayed that in the door latches, and they seem to work better this morning than they did in the last cold snap. And it also solves the problem. I don't know if you've had a camper or if you've been in a camper where you go and it gets cold, a little cold, and the doors won't shut. You like slam it. It just sounds like the latch doesn't even. It's just like slamming against the door frame. We had that problem a lot here until I figured out that it was the little door latch sticking. So routinely been lubricating those with the dry silicone, and it's been helping for that. So every once in a while we'll go to shut doors and it'll just like bang and not latch. And in the past we used to just slam it and slam it and slam it and slam it till it actually latched. Now we've been using the silicone spray, and it lubes that up and it catches, and it seems to alleviate that problem. So hot tip, if you're having trouble with your RV door latches latching, maybe lubricate them up a little bit and it will work better. So I don't see any. I mean, we're gonna get through the cold. It is what it is. I've dreaded it coming up to it, but now that we're in it, and we just got to look to get out the other side, and hopefully it warms up after that, and we can get to building the cabin and getting stuff done with that. Cabin update is there really isn't a cabin update between the snow, the cold, the road being a mess. Really no progress whatsoever there. I did get confirmation on a great friend, a great connection. I don't know if I can call him a friend yet, but a great connection. The gentleman that's actually doing our driveway is borrowing me a trailer so I can go get all my solar panels finally, after the local trailer guy ditched out on me on the day I was supposed to go, and then and it never wrote me back. So I've been scrambling to get a trailer big enough to go get my solar panels, and I was able to finally secure one with the gentleman that's going to do the driveway. So really good connection made out at Delinquent Scully. Both with equipment and trailers and stuff. So hopefully later this week, Thursday or Friday, Thursday with a backup of Friday, I'll be heading out to get my load of solar panels for Delinquent Scully and our project, which will be really nice. It's a 4-hour drive one way. Pick up the panels, bring them back. And with borrowing a trailer instead of renting one, I have a little bit of more leniency on getting them unloaded and put away, because it's going to be a significant stack of panels to move around and figure out what to do with. And with the road the way it is back to our property, I'm thinking they're going to end up somewhere else in the short term. Good morning, Jim Seifert. Thanks for joining us on YouTube. Did you have to create a new YouTube account, Jim? That's not the normal one you use, is it? Anyway, thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. Speaking of Jim, I want to let everybody know we got let me see, is it 2 weeks left? We got just under 2 weeks left for the clip contest over on Fountain for this show, episode 816 or later. So 816 through 822. It'll be 816 through 823 in the end, or any episode of Director Detour, and we got some good ones coming up this week. If you go over to fountain.fm, if you use the Fountain app, if you don't, you should download it just for this and make a clip. Make a clip in Fountain for Director Detour or this show, the latest episodes, and you'll get entered into a drawing for a Blockstream Jade hardware wallet. Win the wallet. If you don't know what it is, you don't know what to do with it or how to use it or anything, I would definitely help you through that too. So don't worry if you win. You're not going to be just left holding the bag with this hardware wallet and not know what to do with it. Jim says, God, now everybody knows who he is. Right? You just doxed yourself. So anyway, make a clip, Director Detour or this morning show. It's easy. It's something you can do with all the shows that you like, and just trying to spur people into figuring out that functionality and using it, and maybe winning a free hardware wallet. So that's a $70 or $80 value for a couple seconds of your time. I don't think that is too much of a stretch. Jim and Chris Dixon do have a big old lead on you all. They are going to have a lot of beans in the hat, and but it only takes one entry to win the Blockstream Jade. And you're going to want a Blockstream Jade if you have any Bitcoin, because if you look right here over my shoulder, we got a green light. I was surprised and pleasantly surprised. We're down a little bit yet this morning, but I was pleasantly surprised when I woke up to stoke the wood stove overnight. I had a bunch of alerts that was like, Bitcoin is now at 107. Bitcoin is now at 108. Bitcoin is now over 109. And I believe I cleared them all in my half asleep, but I believe there was a 110 in there. Did we all-time high it? I'm pretty sure we hit the all-time high last night, overnight. Bitcoin is in a bull run. If you have some from a long time ago, if you have some from a little time ago, open your wallet and see what that balance is. If you haven't been paying attention, if you haven't been watching what's going on, it's gone up a little bit in the recent months, and you should check your wallet value. Once that starts getting a little uncomfortable, you're going to want to be able to put that in a hardware wallet, put it into quote unquote cold storage. Blockstream Jade is what I've been using. I used the Jade for quite a while, and I was lucky enough to have the company send me out a Jade Plus when they were releasing that. Both wallets are phenomenal. I really like both of them. The functionality is there. It's easy enough to get started with if you're a beginner. I think you could probably go from zero Bitcoin knowledge to using a Blockstream Jade in maybe a half an hour chat with me, maybe an hour of quick internet research, I think you could probably be comfortable getting that set up. Whether you're comfortable sending and receiving Bitcoin, that's a different story. But the functionality of the hardware wallet, it isn't that in depth for a beginner. But there are the customizable options. There are the tech side things that you can do with it to make it reasonable and acceptable to an advanced user. So check out Blockstream Jade today. There's a link down in the video description. If you've been thinking about picking one up, you might as well grab 10% off and head down there and grab the discount code, the Lots Project, or hit the link to head on over there, and it auto populates that coupon code. And Blueberry over in the Telegram group, I appreciate him dropping in the note. I didn't notice it over on Fold, but Blockstream actually has done something with the Jade Plus. You can get 2 different size gift cards over on Fold and get 10% back in sats. They're laid out for the Jade Plus. There's two models of the Jade Plus, a metal case and a plastic case. One is $149, I believe, and one's $169. Could be wrong on those exact prices, but those are the 2 denominations of gift cards you can get over on Fold. Get 10% sats back. I would suggest buying the lower one using my discount code. Buy the metal case Jade, the higher priced one. Get the discount code. Get the 10% sats back and only have to shell out a little bit of fiat that's the difference. So you figure $170, you get 10% off from me. You get that $17 off. Now you're down to $153. Your gift card's for $149. You got to throw $5 at it, but you got 10% sats back, and you got the upper side Jade wallet. Just something I dreamt up as I was sitting around. I was like, this will work. So if you have Fold, check that out. If you don't have Fold, grab a Jade anyway. They're a great wallet. So in preparation for the cold snap, I decided I wanted to go buy a larger amount of wood. I had been using Deadfall out at Delinquent Scully. I had some decent logs that I had found that were burning really well. We were running down on what was there that I was using, and every test piece I had kind of gone and checked out. Oh, man, sorry. The air gets really dry in here when we use the wood stove, which is fantastic, but it really dries my throat out when I'm doing the show. Good morning, Chris Dixon. Savvy shopping with Brian. I mean, it is what it is. I was thinking, like, how do I promote the fact that Fold has these gift cards when people get a discount if they go and they want to buy the more expensive one, the $169.99 one, and they buy a gift card and then they apply 10% off. Now they have this $17 gift card sitting around. So there is that. Hunter, holy shit. The Hunter says Biden pardons Fauci. Huh, weird. Weird. I'm not going to get into that right now, but that really shocks me. What a fucking shit show that's going to be. So we were using Deadfall out on the property. I've been going and finding other stuff that was like hung up above the ground. So it's not sitting in the wet. That stuff seems to be dried really nice, burns really nice and hot. It usually, if it's hung up in the air, it's easy to cut slices off, make rounds for our size stove. And that's what I've kind of been doing so far this winter. I talked about last show that I met a local guy that had a bunch of free firewood. We ended up paying him for some of it because I don't like to take from people that the value for value, man. I wanted to return some value, but he had some wood that was well seasoned, couple years old. It was smaller stuff. It was all right. We went over, we took some, we tested it out, we burned it. I went back and got some more a couple days later. That got us through the week, but with this new cold snap coming up, I was like, I don't want to keep going back to that well too much. This guy really likes to give this to people in need, and I like to, I can afford to buy some firewood. Like, not I'm not rich. I would really like to go get that deadfall off the property, but at this point, I was just at a point where I wanted to get through the rest of the winter without dealing with it. So I went on Facebook. I wanted to leave my new friends. I wanted to leave my new friends stash for people that really couldn't afford to buy anything to get through this cold snap. And so I went on Facebook and I started looking for people selling wood. And so in Minnesota, you bought wood by a cord or a face cord. In Tennessee, I guess you buy it by a rick or a rack. I had to look up the terminology. I had never heard of a rick or a rack of wood, but essentially it is like a third of a cord. So it's more than a face cord, but not a half a cord. It's weird. It's basically 4 foot tall by 8 foot long, and whatever length they cut the pieces is a rick. Whatever. Got over that hurdle. I figured out what it was. And I wasn't really sure how much I needed for the rest of the year. And so I started messaging these people, and our stove is pretty picky on wood because the firebox, our stove is picky on the wood you put in it because the box is so small. If you guys want a clip, there you go. What's timestamp? 33 minutes in. If you might want to note that one. Our box is small, and we have to have really dry wood to get into it. So I started asking people questions that were selling their wood on Facebook. I was like, my stove is really picky. How seasoned is this? Like, how long has it been split? And I wasn't getting any really good answers. Like, I wasn't getting an answer like, we cut and split this 2 years ago. We only sell it after it's been 18 months or whatever. I was getting a lot of, well, the tree's been down for a year, but I don't split it until I cut it. And me knowing that firewood doesn't really cure that well or season that well, unless it's been on the ground a long, long time. John Palmer says small boxes usually need wet wood. Not this one. This little box just likes that dry stuff. Dry and hot. So I was hoping to find somebody that had some oak that they were like, yeah, it's been split and stacked for a couple years, blah, blah, blah. That wasn't the case. The local folks that, I'm coming from a place where people are going to go through 10 plus cord of wood in a winter. They want as much efficiency and heat coming out of that stuff as possible. They're a year to two ahead on their firewood. People here get by. I think it's dry enough. They can fire it up, and it is what it is. I think it's just a difference in location and climate. Our stove, though, just doesn't build up enough coals to handle not seasoned wood very well. So I stressed that to the folks that I was having conversations with, and I picked I picked one that was close. The price was right in the ballpark of where I was seeing everybody else. It wasn't super cheap. It wasn't way overpriced, and they were like 3 miles away. So I decided I was going to buy a truckload from them, which is basically I filled the bed of the truck, and it was about a rick and a half. If you're wondering, trying to picture what a rick of wood is, this was about a rick and a half, maybe a rick and a third. Filled the pickup bed truck of my F-250 with the 6-foot box, and I felt scammed. I don't know if scammed is the right word. Like, I was standing there looking at it. They definitely went through some trouble to make the wood look better, I think, than it was. Now, I do understand that it rained. We had some wet snow. I know we had some wet snow. I know this, that, it's not going to be perfectly dried. Chris Dixon, math problem for the week. Hey, good morning, Studio 314 over on Noster. Thanks for the zap. Thank you for popping in. Appreciate that. Chris Dixon with the math problem of the week says, if Brian's box consumes 8 inches of wood every half hour, how much wood will it take to keep Brian's box happy for the week? Canadian Pharmacist says every month is dry January for Brian. Yeah, for sure. Anyway, I'm looking at this wood. He's got it stacked up, and it got a haircut too, guys. They definitely went through some trouble to make it look better than it was, I think. And so I grabbed a couple pieces. I looked at it. It was showing the signs that it was seasoned well enough. The bark came off easy. The ends were kind of cracked. It sounded hollow when I knocked it together. It was what it was. And so I said, yeah, I'll take it. I said, I got to pay when I get home because we don't have any service around here. And I was sending Venmo to them. Hey, Hunter, can you take care of the scammer over on Twitch, if you would? But I started throwing it in the truck. I was like, yeah, I'll take it. Part of the deal with the price was I load, which is fine. I had no problem throwing wood in the back of the truck. I was going to have to throw it back. I was going to have to throw it out when I got here back to the camper. But I started loading it. It sounded good. I was throwing it in the truck. I got about halfway down, and it started to sound kind of wet. It started to sound kind of not as dry. Then there was some dry, and I was like, I think they really mixed this shit up. I think they had some decent stuff. I don't think they had enough that to sell me, and I think they might have gone and scavenged a bunch of shit wood and mixed it in when they stacked it. At this point, I was looking at the truck bed, and it was probably half full of wood, and there was no way in hell that I was unloading it and stacking it back up for this guy, because if I wasn't going to buy it, I really felt that was my responsibility, was to put it back the way that it was before I started to load it in my truck. So I said, well, either it's going to be a donation and I'm going to have to go find other dry wood to get through this snap. And I'll just have to move this twice, and I'll have to move it out to Delinquent's Gully, and we'll burn it up when we burn it up, when it's dried up, or we'll use it for bonfires or whatever. It wasn't that expensive. Or I'm going to get this home and I'll be able to separate it out and sort it out and have enough of actually dry, burnable stuff to get us through this. That's what I did. I took it all. I took all the wood. I took it all. I filled that box completely, got home and handled the wood later that day. unloaded it out of the truck. I've been slowly sorting it. I've been able to grab enough that is dry and burnable. It still feels a little wet for my taste, that I want to be putting in the wood stove and not worrying about it. But it's dry enough that if we have some coals going, that this is catching and it's putting out a decent amount of heat. It could be drier, it could be warmer. It is what it is. I think it's just I don't think people put as much effort into having seasoned wood here as they do up north. It's just a product of not having to use it and rely on it that much. So it is what it is. It's working. I got enough to get through. Canadian Farm says sounds like you need a moisture meter. Another thing, tea is ready. Another thing, I asked if they had a moisture meter. They did not. I used to have a moisture meter when we were in Minnesota. I don't need one on the road. Obviously, I do. I won't need one going forward. I have so many trees that are bucked up right now that need to be cut down to splitting size and stacked, that if I get it done this spring, I'll have plenty of dry wood that I won't need a moisture meter for a stove in the cabin. So I asked if they had one. They didn't. That's the first thing I wanted to do. Canadian Farmstead. That's moisture meter was the first thing that popped into mind, and I just didn't have time to get one. And I don't know if I would have been happy with any of the selection of any of the stuff listed on Marketplace. And my fallback was going to be, if this stuff didn't burn, basically I was going to go back to what we did in Texas, and I was going to go buy a bunch of stuff at the gas station or the hardware store. The bundles of seasoned kiln dried wood. Really, for the time that we've been in the camper, that stuff has been the best. But you also pay a premium at, like, currently, I think when I was at Lowe's the last week, I think it was $7.99 a bundle, and we would roll through, man, just these 4 days. I bet we would have gone through a dozen bundles. I guess it's not that expensive for heat, but I spent about the same on a truck bed full for the rest of the winter. Canadian Farm says any woodworkers near you can sometimes pick up hardwood kindling around here for free. Yeah, there are. There's furniture makers, there's sawmills, there's all sorts of stuff. And that's going to be a great outlet. When my problem was I didn't have any place to store it. And finally I said, screw it for the rest of this year, and bought a bigger bulk amount of wood. Last year I got stuff from Jamie Off-Grid Ping, Jamie Off-Grid Ping, Jamie Ping, out at DG. I was able to work out some stuff with him for wood he had. He has some stuff stacked up right now, and it's probably just it's got a little more moisture content than the stuff I got. I was just hoping to find something to burn a little hotter, a little cleaner, because the wetter stuff really clogs up our stovepipe, since it's so small, and the screen at the top. So that's all. Now that we'll have a place to store this stuff on site, like I said, I got piles of wood for Tennessee winters. I probably got a dozen. Yeah, at least a half a dozen to a dozen winters worth of wood when I just cleared our little spot to put the cabin. So it is what it is. We'll figure it out. So that was the wood. These guys, they may or may not have been into illicit substances. I don't want to stereotype or anything, but I don't. They might have already. Let's say they might have already spent the Venmo money I sent them. They might have been itching to get it into their account. I don't know. Along with trying to pick up firewood, had another bullshit thing from the cold. The cold finally killed my truck battery. Dead. Last winter had a little bit of problem, and once I topped it up, I think last winter I might have left something plugged in, and it drained it. This winter it went out. The last cold snap here went to start it. Tim says, did they steal the wood? If not, probably not tweakers. They might have. They might have stolen the wood. I don't know. They said they sold cords and cords and cords, and they only had a little bit, so they might have stole it. I'm not sure. I went out to start the truck, and the battery was dead. No problem. It's happened before. I have my Avapow jump pack, which is fantastic. And if you go down into the video description, I have that vehicle emergency vehicle emergency gear list over on Amazon. This jump pack is on it. Basically, it's a 6,000 amp jump pack that it got me through having the dead battery. I needed to get to town to get it. I have a certain schedule where I don't usually go to town until either Thursday or Friday because I'm doing stuff in the camper and interviews and things like that. And so I needed to run errands, but the truck was dead. I'd jump it. It would run for the day until it sat overnight, and then the next morning it would be dead again. I would just get out the Avapow, jump it, and it was good for the day. Obviously, it wasn't the alternator. The alternator was working. It was charging the battery. The battery was taking enough of a charge, but it was definitely just by the end of the night, it was dead. Decided to go buy another one. Holy shit, they're expensive now. The truck battery ran me, I think it was like $227. $22 of that was a core fee that I'll get back when I return the battery, but the dead battery. But it's only a 2-year battery. It was for the 3-year battery was pushing $300, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I just had to buy. I bought the 2-year. And I got my fingers crossed when I got back to the camper. I swapped the battery out, and it turned out that the one that was in there was almost 7 years old. It was from May of 2018. So in May, it would have been 7 years old. We bought the truck in like 2020. So prior to me buying the truck, that it was a Ford Motor Company battery. So I mean, that doesn't mean it was. It definitely wasn't original. But the people that had the truck, it was a company truck before us, and they got all their service done at a dealership, and it lasted from 2018. So there is that. Now Dixon says that's really seems really steep. Our 5-year are only $325 Canadian. I looked. They were all in that ballpark. I'm running a 65 series 750 cold crank amp. It's a big battery. We'll see. Hopefully it lasts. I'm hoping to get 5 years out of it. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. It feels like as I bought batteries over the years in my life that the price has gone up and the quality has definitely gone down. We'll see. I can't remember what brand I got. There were a couple different brands at AutoZone. I was at Tractor Supply was going to be the cheapest place, and they were out. I guess this time of year with cold snaps, people find out that they have bad batteries and things go on a run. There weren't any left. But that Avapow, I know Hunter posted that he was about ready to pick up a new tire plug kit, the one that I had recommended over there. This is another thing on that list, that emergency gear list, the Avapow jump pack. That if you don't have one in your car, that or one similar that's big enough to start your car, it saves so many problems. You can carry jumper cables. you can have jumper cables. They work great, whatever, but you got to find somebody to jump your car. When you're getting ready to leave in the morning and your car is in the driveway and it's nose in and it's dead, your wife already left, your husband already left for work, you don't want to go get a neighbor, you don't want to have to try to get a car in next to it, all of that bullshit. The Avapow, basically, you take it out of the case, you set it on next to the battery, you put the clamps on, you hit the button, and it works. And if it used a lot of charge, or if you used it a couple times, haven't charged it up, literally, I just go in and plug it into the inverter in my truck and recharge it off the truck and keep it in the truck. It's so easy. It's just easy. I totally recommend one of those. And while you're over there, you can check out that tire plug kit, the Viair air compressor, 12-volt air compressor that I carry, and a couple other things on that list. Still evaluating items for that. If you do have car gear that you use that you really like, that you recommend, that you can find on Amazon, let me know. I'll check it out. I'll get it on that list. But man, the jump packs are just unbelievable. It works really well. Hunter says this tire plug kit should be there today. I think you'll really like that. The aluminum handles, they screw together really nice. Be careful if you want to take it apart that you don't wrench down on it, because once that aluminum locks in, you're gonna have to get wrenches to pull it apart. Dixon says Kirkland batteries are really good up here, but then again, you got to get to Costco. Yeah, me and Costco. Kirkland brand stuff is fantastic, and it's the right price. I just, after being a customer of Costco, and also working as a vendor for Costco, yeah, I don't like them. And the quality of the product and the price compared to my thoughts and feelings after my thoughts and feelings personally, I'm done with them forever. Like, I don't think there's anything that Costco could do to win me back as a customer after the whole mask thing and the preemptive mask thing, and then as a vendor working for them, dealing with them, and hearing inside stories of both the corporate company and the local company, how they've treated people and their suppliers and things. It's just not my deal anymore. So feel free to use them. That's a personal choice, and I don't bemoan anybody that wants. They do have a quality product. I'll totally admit that, and the price is right. So get to it if you want. Just not my deal. So that was Dead Battery. Did anybody notice that TikTok got banned for like 12 hours? Oh, I went back and forth whether I wanted to put this shit on my list. Okay, so I have the TikTok on the list. I got TikTok ban, Noster, Trump inauguration, and then my Director Detour episodes. I think I'm going to talk about Director Detour, and then we'll just spin out the rest of the episode on on TikTok, Trump, and some weird shit going on. Director Detour this week, I got some really good episodes. One out right now already. It released at 5 this morning. Matthew Lesko. If you don't know who Matthew Lesko is, if you're my age, if you're in your 40s, 50s, 40s, maybe 30s, if you don't know who Matthew Lesko is, he's the guy that jumped around on late night TV infomercials in the question mark suit. Always at the Capitol building or in Washington, D.C. somewhere talking about get government grants for free. He had a book he sold, several books he sold over the years on how to get government grants and things like that. He now is an advocate for the same type of thing. He has a website where he helps people. He's writing books. He's doing all sorts of stuff. The interview was fascinating. It was less about his story and more about what's going on. And the numbers he put out there, the sheer volume of grants and the dollar amounts were mind-boggling to me. We talked a lot about why we didn't get deep into politics, but a lot of it. You just have to listen. Matthew Lesko. It went out this morning on the audio feeds. If you want the video, you're gonna have to go over to Patreon, join the membership over at the Patreon. The video will come out. I think it came out at 6, but Matthew Lesko is a great conversation. I got Arlene Cohen Miller, who is an attorney and a life coach. We talked to her on Wednesday that comes out. And that was a good conversation. I really enjoyed my conversation with Arlene. And on Friday, I released one with Anna Priz. If you don't know who Anna Priz is, she is someone that just one day decided to start an Instagram. She was working a job. She hated her life. She started an Instagram to talk about bullshit. She just went on there. She was herself. She's outgoing, boisterous. She tells it how she sees it. And she started an Instagram and ended up getting a following. She got a following on TikTok. And recently, before I talked to her, she actually quit her job from spinning that into a membership and following. She's an interesting girl. Definitely interesting girl. It's a great story, especially for aspiring content creators. I'm going to check out Anna Priz on Friday. Yeah, 3 great conversations as always, and make some clips and win yourself a Jade. So that's Director Detour this week. You can find it at in any of your podcast feeds, or you can jump over on Fountain or the Patreon at patreon.com/Director Detour. So that's that. Hunter weighing in on the TikTok. They shut it down for 12 to 14 hours, just long enough to fiddle with it. What did they do to the servers? Man, so many questions. The timing of the TikTok ban has that was the first thing that started to make my brain spin a little bit. And this is way back in November, or I don't really think I noticed it back when they passed it. I think this has been going on since like April or something, hasn't it? The fact that, and I mean, it makes sense. An outgoing regime would time bomb stuff to go off right as an incoming administration. They play petty fucking games like that. Maybe it was just the when it naturally should have started. Who the fuck knows? But the fact that it was supposed to go into place, and now this is regardless of whether you use TikTok, whether you don't use TikTok, whether you think it's a waste of time, whether you think it's a bunch of bullshit. Jim. Tick shit. Okay, boomer. Fucking God. The people that are like, oh, fucking TikTok. Do you guys realize that there's thousands and thousands and probably I would really easily say millions and millions of dollars in commerce done on a day-to-day basis on TikTok? And I'm not talking about influencers doing shit where they're getting paid for viral videos doing stupid shit. Companies are selling products on there. Legitimate companies are selling products on there. It's just not Chinese Temu shit. There's made in America companies, there's small businesses, there's all sorts of companies doing commerce on TikTok on a daily basis. Now, not only are they doing commerce, creators are making videos and making sales commission on these products. Yes. Is there a bunch of junk? Yes. Are there a lot of products? Yes. Are there t-shirt companies that I've watched grow up from just wearing their t-shirt on their TikToks to somebody saying, hey, can I get one of those? To they quit their fucking job because they started selling t-shirts on TikTok. So the boomer attitude of, oh, fucking TikTok, oh, just a bunch of sluts on, like the comments I saw on social media about this ban, just open your fucking mind for a second. And that's not directed at you, Jim. That's just in general. The attitude towards something that you don't use, you don't understand, and you people shout it down just because. It is what it is. The fact that the government is shutting any platform down, whether it be a platform for 12-year-old girls that like Miss Kitty or whatever the Rainbow Kitty or whatever the fucking that little cartoon shit is, or if it's something for 60-year-old guys that like to play golf and sit on their yard and yell at people to get off their fucking sit on their porch and yell at people to get off their fucking yard. Hello Kitty. Thank you, Hunter. It doesn't diminish the fact that the government is shutting down somebody's voice. Yeah. They're shutting it off because they don't like it. I don't think there's anybody that didn't know that China owns, a Chinese company owns TikTok. And I don't think there's anybody that doesn't realize that, well, God, I hope there isn't somebody that doesn't realize that every fucking app, American, Chinese, Japanese, look at these, Korean, European, Irish, German, they all fucking steal your data. All of them. So why are we banning TikTok? People are willingly downloading something, put a disclaimer on it to let them know even again that their data is being harvested. At least they're downloading it. At least it's not something that's just on their phone because they did a security update. What is wrong with that? And why are we shutting down something? There's a bigger reason. Because China's going to steal data from us and get an advantage when they attack us or something. They're going to have a back end into cyber hacking. They have all that shit anyway. I saw Rachel posted a great meme, and I had seen it a couple places that, we can't have Chinese owned app companies, but China can own 3 million acres of, or whatever the fucking number is, unbelievable acreage of farmland here. But they can't own an app. There's something going on. Duh. Like, Here, let me state the obvious. There's something more than it was a Chinese-owned company. The first thing that made me start thinking about the bullshit is the Band-Aid. The Band-Aid. Not the Band-Aid. The ban date. Hunter says over 300,000 acres and near military bases. Yeah, there's military bases anyway. It is what it is. So they were going to ban it the day before the inauguration. Perfect setup for what happened. Shut it down for 12 hours. Trump to the rescue. I haven't stayed up to date on the latest news and whatever. I barely saw what he did. I would happen to be online actually getting ready to kick it to go to sleep for the night, and was scrolling through a couple of TikToks because I had some messages when it actually went offline. I was scrolling and I flipped to the next video, and literally the notice came up that said it's offline now. And I'm like, that was nice, whatever. It didn't bother me. I had kind of pumped the brakes on it, waiting to see how this all played out before I put any more time in it. And the only reason I'm using it going forward is to make fucking money. It's a conduit for money. But it was closed long enough or down long enough for people to get wound up. And then Trump saves the day. Now, Biden administration had put a stay on it. They said they weren't going to enforce this ban for 1 day or 2 days or whatever. Whenever the Supreme Court announced their decision, it was like Friday or something. I can't remember. It didn't really matter in my timeline. But all of a sudden, Trump saves the day. He said he's going to pass an executive order today. He's going to have a busy day one between freeing Ross by saving TikTok. There's about a notebook full of shit that this guy said he's going to do day one. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Jim says Trump saved it is the new marketing. Yeah, but is it really? Is it really? What's the other shoe that's going to drop? Does Trump save it and then something happens and they can blame Trump? Are they setting him up because of his boisterous, I'll fix it? And remember, last time the Orange Man was in office, he was all about banning TikTok. People have really short memories. But I'm pretty sure it was Donald Trump in his last inauguration. Good morning, Seattle. Good morning, Seattle. I'm pretty sure it was him in his last term that he was going to ban TikTok. So what changed his mind? The sway of the wind, the outcry of the people. That doesn't sound like solid principles to me. If he wanted to ban it 4 years or 6 years ago, why now? Why not now? Is it a setup? Is the whole thing a setup? What's the end goal? Who's making backroom deals? Who is making the backroom deals? There was all sorts of rumbling right before TikTok went dark that Facebook made a TikTok profile. We have Zuckerfuck coming out and admitting his fact checkers and that they had no basis in reality, that the government pressured them to do stuff. He's now a hero, and he's Joe Rogan's bro. Everybody loves. He's going on the apology tour because now a new administration's coming in, and we got to throw the dirt on the old one. What changes for Meta by him doing that? Why now is Zuckerfuck out making the apology tour? You can't tell me that he thought TikTok was going to be banned for good and had no recollection that that something was going to happen to keep it around. Are they working together? Is Elon? Good morning, Seattle says Elon needs a foe, fake competition. I don't know. Hunter says Meta has had TikTok for a while. Their account on TikTok. Now they're now linking. I don't use Facebook enough to know the ins and outs of Facebook. It's a means to an end, just like TikTok. But I saw that you can link your TikTok with your Facebook now and Instagram or something. I don't know. Like I said, I use them to make some money, and I see what I see in my limited time trying to figure them out. But it's got a lot of people talking, and is it a distraction? Is it a sleight of hand? Is it honestly, did he want to do something? Did Trump want to do something because people were screaming about it? Somebody said the outcry of the people. Jim says it's all theater. It is all theater. It is. But what is the story? What is the long-term goal? Why the theater? And that plays right into the inauguration today, getting moved inside. That's turned into a little bit of a shit show. Why? There's a lot of angry people that paid a lot of money to get to Washington to enjoy the inauguration, and now they're not going to be able to see it live. Good morning, Seattle says, notice Janet Yellen financing the entire debt of the United States as short-term bonds. Yeah, I saw that we'll hit the debt ceiling the day after Orange Man takes office. Orange Man launched his shit coin. I think I saw Milena launched her own shit coin too. Hunter just posted area alert for DC residents, employees subject to security. Be prepared to show ID. Those without valid ID will be escorted by personnel to their destination. Jim says distraction while they continue the systematic wealth extraction. That's definitely a possibility. Good morning, Seattle agrees with distraction. Hunter says, I would be pissed if I had to walk people around because they forgot their ID. I would be more pissed that we're living in some place that we need to show our papers to walk around. I didn't know that being able to go from my home to the store required an ID. I didn't know walking my dog around the neighborhood or taking my dog for a run required an ID. Jim says the Nazis. Nazi playbook 101, right? Hunter wants to know. Hunter asks a question of the week. How come they still call it Chinatown? What would you like to call it? What would you like to call a highly concentrated area of culturally culturally bonded Chinese people living together? Most or if not the majority speak Chinese. The first alert that Hunter skipped says community access points for residents who live or work within Chinatown and the Judiciary Square, 9th Street to H Street and 3rd to G Street. Need your ID. Well, I take back my shit about walking the dog or running the dog. That's out of the question if it's Chinatown. I don't know. This all feels, everything going on feels like there's something bigger. That they're all little pieces to the puzzle, but I haven't quite put my finger on what the puzzle actually is. It's like doing a puzzle without the box. Your grandma, had these old puzzles that were around forever, and the box got used so much that the box fell apart. So she put it in a Ziploc bag, all the pieces, and you're just trying to figure out. You're trying to put the puzzle together without the biggest picture, but you're seeing all the little pieces. Something's going on here. I think we need the Chris Dixon put in the Telegram chat the other day, the Scooby group. We need the Scooby crew to put it all together and figure out who the villain is. I already know they're all the villain, but what's going on? I don't think this shit happens coincidentally. Or it does. And we're just looking, and I'm just looking, and others that I interact with are looking for something greater. I don't know. What do you think? Is it you said it's a distraction, but from what? Jim said it was the systematic siphoning of wealth. Systematic wealth extraction. I mean, that's been going on for a long time. I don't know if they needed all this theatrics to continue that. Hunter says, I did read something last night while I was falling asleep about hurricane force winds in Los Angeles area. Weird. That shit's going to burn down. Has anybody heard about Maui? This is Maui that burned down, right? That kind of disappeared real quick. have the smart city predictions and that type of stuff, is that still in motion? It disappears so quick. Has anybody followed up on that? Wait. Good morning, Seattle. Good morning, Seattle. I'm guessing that he meant to say clairvoyant. Buoyant. That saw Trump get shot in the ear 3 weeks before it happened, said that there's going to be a 10-city attack by 10 groups of 100 men. Will they be in a big wooden horse? Should be wary of accepting gifts from other countries that may include men inside. Jim, gotta run. Goodbye to you, sir. Thanks for stopping in, and thanks for that zap over on Noster. And I will tell Corey you said goodbye. Pip says blue laser beams, man. What's going on? Is anybody? Obviously, there's a few people here still kicking around in the audience. Anybody hear anything about Maui? Anybody? I know that North Carolina is still a mess. That really dropped off the radar. That never even hit the radar, just because of who knows why. But I don't know. I don't see anything out of Maui that would confirm nor deny the assertions that it was done on purpose or for a smart city, a 15-minute city, or whatever you want to call them. Hunter says, how many police departments are helping DC with security? Let me guess, 10 from 10 major cities across the United States. Has anybody seen trucks with large wooden horses heading down the highway? Too bad we don't have gates on our big gates on our cities, and they can knock on the gate. I don't know. I wondered if the Trump inauguration got moved inside. Got moved inside for safety reasons other than the cold. I know they're using the cold as an excuse, but do they know something that they needed a more controlled environment? Who knows? Maybe it's just cold, but it's been like 40 or 50 or 60 or some shit years since they've done this, and it's been cold. I don't know. I know that folks have to stand outside for extreme lengths of time, and being outside in this weather, especially if you're not prepared for it or used to it, can be deadly. So there is a legitimate cause for the moving inside from the cold, but is that the actual reason? I don't know. Well, we'll see. Guys, we're having this play out in front of our eyes. It's interesting to play the guessing game and then follow up. The problem is a lot of times we forget to follow up. I've been trying to be more cognizant of following up on my theories, on the things that I wonder and think about and prognosticate about, or I just want to know, did they come true? Like the Maui thing. And I haven't seen anything. Maybe it's just taking time. I haven't painted my roof blue yet, though. Pip says maybe they're coming in large wooden Badgers, and Hunter says he saw trucks with jammer antennas. Isn't that pretty common, though, anymore? The jammer antennas around. I've actually, I was having some interweb issues yesterday with some slow service and some connectivity issues, and I was worried that the show wouldn't go off this morning, but it seemed like it's cleared up, so I don't think that is huge. Anything around these big events like inaugurations and regime changes can get kind of sketchy. So I don't know, guys. Keep your eyes open. Keep your head on a swivel. That would be my suggestion for the next few days, the next few weeks, and let your people know if you see anything in your neck of the woods. Telegram group is a great place to do that for our community. If you want to jump on there at t.me/lots chat. That's t.me/lots chat. We'll you just apply or request membership, and when I see the message, I will approve you, as long as when I send you a message and ask you where you heard about the chat, you don't ask to talk to me about crypto to invest in a platform that you're making large amounts of money on. Yes, I gatekeep for my community. Hunter's heading to the CBS tower. He'll let me know if he hears anything. Oh, good. Other than that, working on classes for DG this year. Got some in the works, got some confirmed. Right now, we're thinking April and June for classes with Carrie Brown from Strong Roots Resources, one partnering with trees on the permaculture homestead, and the other wild foods all around you. Carrie will also be presenting at Delinquent Gully Days when we get that squared away. Trying to put a project together with Food Forest Farms and a coffee roasting class, still in the works, and really pounding out the details on that to see if it's feasible. But that would be probably in September, and be a coffee roasting class where you will learn about coffee roasting. You will be able to roast your own coffee, take that home with you, and camp out and learn all things coffee. It'll be I think a 3-day intensive coffee workshop. So that's in the works. Other stuff. My goal in 2026 will be to have at least one event a month, possibly 2 events a month. So this year we're just trying to ease into that, get our first couple paid events and classes and workshops, and start working out the kinks with that. And other projects that we got on the books for DG is exciting. So it'll be fun to watch. And no, I don't have a website or social media up for them yet. That is something that's in the works too. So lots on the plate. Other than that, guys, I'm just going to try to make through the cold this week. I hope you have a fantastic week. I hope the inauguration goes well. I hope TikTok sticks around if you want to use it, if you don't want to use it, whatever. But just be aware that they can shut shit off. They being whoever, the government, anybody that has a finger on the plug can shut shit down at any time. Consider figuring out Noster. Consider looking into it. If you don't know what it is and you want to learn more, you can always reach out to me, or there's plenty of resources popping up with the TikTok ban. It's a great publicity for Noster. They can't take it down. You want censorship, you want uncancelable social media to use, look into Noster. Ask questions. We'll figure it out. I'm hopefully having some onboarding stuff put out there pretty quick, and trying to spread the word about it. So Noster is the answer. I put a meme up yesterday with the TikTok ban screenshot, and Noster fixes this because it really does. It really does. It's not quite ready for mainstream yet. I don't think it's on the way though. I think a slow trickle of folks populating there, some more variety of content beyond Bitcoin, and a little bit more development, and it's going to be in for the long haul. So we will see. It's better than building on TikTok and having it just pulled out from underneath you for 12 hours and then reinstated by somebody you may or may not like. Who knows? Anyway, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta get this processed. We gotta walk the dogs, and I got a bunch of stuff to do today. I hope you all enjoyed the show. Please share it around if you know somebody that could use a little laugh, or the discussions we had here this morning. Please share it with them. Please share Director Detour around. That is a pretty general audience show. Nothing too controversial, nothing crazy, just some inspiring stories of successful people and their journeys to get there, and whatever else comes up with that, direct or detour. Like I said, Matthew Lesko, Arlene Cohen-Miller, and Anna Priz coming up this week. And I think we're up to 30 plus episodes. So if you want to go back and listen to any of the other ones, there's some great chats and a bunch more coming up. I really feel like I started to dial in on the interview, get my interview chops back in the last couple weeks of recording. I guess it would have been back in December when I was recording the last couple weeks of episodes. So Hunter says, don't forget to read my book. What, the Daily Stoic? That's not my book. Don't forget to read the Daily Stoic. I don't have a book. I didn't write a book. All right, guys, if you'd share that along, I appreciate it. I'll see you over in the Telegram group today, over on Noster or wherever else I catch up with you. I hope you have a fantastic day. Stay warm, stay safe. Let people know what's going on in your area. Do something awesome this week to make your day better, and we will catch up with you next Monday morning.